Launch director has called a scrub of the attempt of launch of Artemis 1.
It was supposed to be the relaunch of America's multi-billion-dollar mission to conquer outer space. In this, Artemis, the most powerful rocket ever built, with its Orion space capsule that will, it's hoped, carry men and women and lower them once again gently onto the moon's desolate surface in just 3 years' time.
Orion will fly about 60 miles above the lunar surface.
A highly anticipated journey that was to begin this morning with the launch of the first test flight, minus the astronauts, but plus $23 billion worth of investment and even more excitement. But with just 40 minutes to lift off, the mission was aborted after a fuel leak meant engineers failed to get one of the booster's massive engines cooled to the right temperature.
We don't launch until it's right. This is a very complicated machine, a very complicated system, and all those things have to work. And you don't want to light the candle until it's ready to go.
12, 11.
And therefore, as we set sail, we ask God's blessing on the most hazardous and dangerous and greatest adventure on which man has ever embarked.
1, 0. All engine.
The first flight of Artemis 1 harks back to a golden era of pioneering space travel, and the moment just over 50 years ago that astronauts Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin became the first humans to touch down on the dusty surface of the moon when they famously stepped off the Apollo lunar module some 298 million miles from planet Earth.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
In the 5 decades since, technology has advanced, and so too has NASA's ambitions. The aim now, they say, to return to the moon to stay, to live, and to learn more about the rocky lunar landscape that orbits our Earth and whose gravitational pull dictates the ebb and flow of our tides. The delay is a setback, but the Vice President said the cost of the project was as justified today as it was for the Apollo program.
There was so much that came out of that was intended and some unintended in terms of the benefits that it allowed for science, for medical research, and the same thing is going to happen here.
NASA began fueling the rocket later than planned due to thunderstorms at the Kennedy Space Center. Liquid oxygen was loaded first, then hydrogen, whose minus 423 Fahrenheit temperature is critical for cooling the engine system. But sensors detected a leak, and despite their best efforts, engineers failed to fix it and the launch had to be aborted. Space fans were understandably disappointed, but sanguine.
It would have been great to see the start of a bit of history going again, but oh well. Maybe one day.
That day could come as soon as Friday, one of the dates penciled in by NASA to attempt a second launch of its moon rocket. A liftoff designed to open a new frontier in space exploration, to boldly go where man has only been just once before, more than half a century ago, and then beyond.